Be in the know with unlimited access to IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. Our in-depth coverage of all things business means you'll always be completely in the know. Subscribe for just $1 a week. Get started now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. I'm Gary Dick. Parasoft, a Miami-based AI-driven procure-to-pay and financial automation company, has acquired Nimbello, although details of the transaction not being disclosed. Founded in 2010 by Milind Agte, Granger-based Nimbello provides AI-powered invoice automation for finance teams in healthcare, manufacturing, and higher education. Sunjay Agte is Nimbello's Vice President of Strategy and Alliances.
Strategically, they have a great name in the space, right? They're a leading provider of the procure-to-pay automation. They help businesses optimize their AP workflows. They're leaning into the AI technology. So all of that was checking the boxes.
For the second year in a row, Indiana state employees will receive no pay raises. The contingency fund that usually covers salary adjustments was reduced by 90% in the current state budget. Logansport Mayor Chris Martin on Monday announced his resignation after 6 years in office. Martin says his final day as mayor will be March 29th as he moves on to become director of the Huntington County United Economic Development Corporation. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader. New funding could be coming to Indiana's child care voucher program, and advocates and providers are urging the state to act sooner rather than later before more child care capacity is lost.
The funding is unlikely to address the over 34,000 children on the current wait list, but advocates say any kind of increase in funding is a welcome change, as some families have been waiting for months and child care providers close classrooms. The child care vouchers are part of the Federal Child Care and Development Fund, or CCDF, which helps families at or below 135% of the federal poverty level pay for child care. During the pandemic, Indiana utilized more than $1 billion in federal aid to expand the CCDF vouchers. As federal funds expired in late 2024, the state reinstated a wait list for vouchers. Sam Sneidman, Vice President of Government Relations for United Way of Central Indiana, says since the beginning of 2025, more than 200 providers across the state have had to close as a result of the changes. Some relief could be coming soon. Lawmakers recently passed a bill that could free up $300 million from the Financial Responsibility and Opportunity Growth Fund. Previously, this fund was restricted to augmenting appropriations for state prisons, Medicaid, and the Department of Child Services. It now adds the CCDF vouchers as an allowable use for these dollars. The changes made in Senate Bill 4 do not hand the $300 million directly to the office overseeing the vouchers. Instead, it allows the office to compete for a share of that money. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
A boost for the state's manufacturing economy. Toyota planning to invest $200 million in its sprawling plant in Princeton. The investment will be used to increase production capacity for the Grand Highlander SUV, though it will not result in any new jobs. Indianapolis-based Kite Realty Group has promoted Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer Heath Fear to President and CFO. Fear joined the Real Estate Investment Trust in 2018. The company says the promotion reflects the broadening scope of his responsibilities during his tenure. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Stay ahead with Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand, your go-to source for the latest business news across the Hoosier State. Join hosts Gary Dick and Alex Brown every weekday morning and afternoon for concise updates on Indiana's top business stories. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app or listen at ibjpodcasts.com.
Do you want to know what really drives change in Indiana? You won't find it in sound bites, you'll find it in stories. Stories from CEOs, lawyers, coaches, entrepreneurs, and community advocates. That's the IBJ Media Podcast Network. Insightful, local, impactful. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcast.com.